I'm going to be breaking down Euro JPY, a trade that I took that actually played out very nicely. So let's actually get on the chart here. So first of all, I was looking at a couple of different things here. I was looking at AUDCHF currently. I was watching the bottom here of this move on the 4-hour chart and also even on the 2-hour chart as well, looking for a pullback into this area right here, close to this moving average, to then possibly look for buys and basically, expecting the market to continue to the upside. That's one thing that I'm looking at right now. Just right before we get into this breakdown, just wanted to kind of, share some ideas top of mind that I'm looking at. I'm looking at gold. I'm trying to get into trading gold again. It's been kind of choppy recently, so haven't really been messing around with it too much. USD CAD, no. There was one more pair that looked very interesting. Even NZD JPY, the way that it looks like it's setting up, could be very interesting because we're tapping into this moving average here. And if we can bounce up from here, then we could potentially get a very nice move, even all the way up to 94 or above 94, which is a psychological area. And it also means that price is likely to, if it breaks, to continue to the upside. Now let's actually get into the main focus here, which is breaking down this trade that just made so much sense that for me, I'm personally taking notes on this and I'm trying to figure out how I can keep trading setups that look just like this. Because not only did the setup go up and hit my take profit, but the market has continued bullish even after hitting my take profit. And it's still respecting bullish structure. And technically, if I would have been holding this trade, I could have been up right now a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. That goes to show that it was a good setup and we were definitely in the right direction on this analysis, right? So I had sent in here in my group Euro JPY, this inside of Synergy Trading. What did I break down? Well, I saw that it had broken above the 182-200 area. So this is this area of support right here. I saw that, I was like, you know what? That's a really good sign that this is going to start going bullish. Because at this point, when the market was here, you could have still been looking for sells because the market had been in an overall bearish trend. So if you really look at this, the market was in a bearish trend. We had a lower high. This is a lower high right here. Let's see if I could label it. Boom, that was a lower high. This was a major high. So the reason why it was a major high is because that was the highest point and it was also the point that stretched out the most, right? It was by far the most important high in the market and that was just the beginning of what came afterwards, which was a bearish trend. So instead of this forming a consistent, lower high structure where the market, gave you multiple opportunities to enter in short, it really didn't do that. It gave you maybe like one opportunity here. If you saw that chance and if you were looking to trade it, you could have potentially taken that sell right there, right around 182.950. But realistically, it was too small of a pullback to actually enter in short right there. So most likely, you were looking for some type of sell if you were looking at this market around here. Now for me, I was at first looking for a sell, but by the time I really started to find or to almost find a setup, I noticed that the market was consolidating. And for me, if I'm going to take a sell on something, it has to be trending strongly. I don't want to take a sell or a buy if the market is simply bouncing up and down. So essentially what I saw was that the market inside of this area, let's put a color to this. The market inside of this blue zone wasn't really going anywhere and it was struggling to make lower lows. Because this right here is a lower low. So like the market did form these two lower lows and the next one is obviously supposed to continue down. But you see here, we struggled to go lower. And even here, which was the major low of this market, it was the overall lowest point that this market reached. did not break the previous lower low. You know, even though, yes, it's right around the same price, that's kind of a equal low. It's not lower. And even if it would have been slightly lower, that's not what you want to see in a bearish market. You want to see the market actually break and actually make a significant break below that area. So that's kind of the story of this market. And that's where you start to see, like, wait a second, we're not going down as we should. We're consolidating, but we're not going down as much as we should if we are going to continue this bearish trend. And ultimately, what really starts to confirm that analysis is when we finally break above 182.200. So that's why I said here, it's broken above the 182.200 area of resistance, which is a 2-hour and 4-hour area of resistance, right? So we're seeing it here on the 4-hour. We know why it's an area of resistance because the market bounced off of it here the first time, the second time, and the third time. And even if you drag this out to the left, the market used it as support for that first pullback to that first lower high that we made. So it's safe to say that the 182.200 area has been used many times in the past. And then the market broke above it. It broke above it with a strong engulfing candle, and it continued to trade above the resistance. It's not like it broke above and then came right back down. That would have been a fake out. It broke above and it continued to trade above, which means price was done with that area. It was complete, right? At that point, the market was ready to start trading higher, which is then the point at which we basically form our first higher high. So this is the first higher high point. Let's see what I said here in the breakdown. So this last part that I said has made a perfect break and retest on it. For me, that was a really good sign because not only was it a break and retest, but it was a perfect break and retest because you can draw this zone that I have right now. It's actually around 182.300 where I have it to the top, and to the bottom it's 182.200. So in that 10 pip range, that's a perfect zone right there. And it just happened to be that the market came down right to that area and then also rejected that area. It rejected it with this candlestick pattern right here, which is a rejection candlestick, because it has a wick to the bottom that is larger than the wick to the top. So I also like how price is starting to react on the zone. What I mean by reacting on the zone was what I saw here. So this is how it looked in real time when I was sending in that analysis. And what I saw here was this little bounce. So this is a different time frame. I do believe this is the 2-hour time frame. Yes, it is. So you can see here, 2-hour time frame, started to bounce. Notice the EMA. Look at that perfect 2-hour EMA on there, right at that 182.200 price. And then the market is starting to react. So I'm watching this in the live market and I'm saying, like, I like how it's starting to react off of there. The daily candle is slightly bearish, which is not ideal, but it has a wick starting to form on the bottom, so it could bounce and end up closing as a bullish candle. This is how the daily candle looked when I was looking at taking this setup. If you guys have seen these type of candles before, you know a lot of the times they're going to flip green and close as a bullish candle because it's already gone higher. The downside, it's also rejected some of the downside, and it's kind of already approaching towards the end of the day because London session has already happened. Some of New York session has already happened. And it kind of makes sense for this to reject off of here with all of these other wicks you have to the left and then end up being a bullish candle, which would be perfect if we could actually enter in there, which obviously is exactly what happened. So I wish I said what time I sent this analysis in, but I know more or less the time was, yeah, there you go. So 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's already towards the second half of the day because London session had already moved price a lot. So all very good signs about why the market could potentially, go bullish. Someone said here it's rejecting 4-hour EMA, daily EMA. That was actually, it was kind of like a false view. It wasn't rejecting the 4-hour EMA. And it never rejected the 4-hour. That was just a bias that they had thinking about, oh, potentially we may reject, it wasn't actually rejecting. So there was no evidence of rejecting the 4 hour or daily EMA whatsoever. Just because it looks like it was rejecting doesn't mean it actually was. You know what I mean? You could think it is, but it's just not. There was no evidence for that. It was just current candle formations, but they hadn't closed yet. Especially on the 4 hour, there was no confirmation of that. So yeah, this is on the 2 hour now. This is what I was looking at. I took this entry. Keep in mind, this entry messed around a lot. So my trade management for this, it definitely tested my emotions, but I stayed strong in it. I didn't really think to, well, I did think to close out actually, but I didn't end up closing out. So what I said was, and what I was thinking, if we get a strong closure below this zone, 182, 100, then I'm going to close out of the trade. And magically, somehow, we got a closure right at that area, but not below it. If you focus on where this zone is here, you'll see the market kind of closed right at that zone. So there was no official reason why I would close out of this trade, because the market wasn't consistently trading below my area of support, although it came very close to it. And I held this trade for about 5 days. Let's see if I could find it here. So this is that trade that closed out on the 24th. All right, I have to find this. Let's see where it says it. So hold right there. It was a holding period of about 5 days on this trade. And I entered it on the 19th and closed out on the 26th, or sorry, the 24th of February. So pretty long holding trade. But for me, it made sense. I held this over the weekend. We were still pretty much above the EMA, except for that point. That was the most stressful part of this trade, when we were actually trading below the EMA. But you know what? I had already been okay. I had already settled with the fact that, like, whatever happens, happens. If I have to close out of this early, then so be it. How much would I lose? Realistically, maybe 4K, 5K. Compared to the wins, that's nothing. That's like 5 times smaller than the wins. I'm assuming it was, if it was a closure somewhere around this area, I'm not assuming it was a full stop loss. And then worst case scenario, let's say the market does come down, hit my full stop loss. Well, it is what it is, right? You have to take a risk on every single trade in order to make money. It's part of the game, and it's part of how you're going to make money trading. So yeah, if I lost 7,500 on this, it is what it is. That's part of the game. And I actually ended up, closing out at a very nice point. 628. All the way up here. So literally my full take profit on this one, 135 pips secured. It was 139 pip take profit. I secured about 134, 132, something like that. Very, very huge profit in regards to my drawdown. This is a trade where the lesson of holding and being extremely patient with your take profit and with the letting the market go in your favor is a key point here. Sometimes you do have to just let the market do whatever it's going to do. But the key to this is you have to be okay with what it's going to do. You have to actually let go of what you want to happen. I didn't care what was going to happen. At that point, I was already through so much consolidation in this trade that it is what it is. Like I became detached to the outcome of this. And that's how you have to be with all of your trades. Now, there is something I have to talk to you guys about in this trade, and you need to start implementing in every single one. And it's kind of like the magic about why I was even able to turn this into a winning trade, and it's the entry. Your entries have to be towards the bottom of a movement. You see here how this is the first higher low of the market? This point right here. Let's see what price it is. Hopefully you guys can see where I just put that. This is the first official higher low. The price is 182. So exactly at 182. That is the low of the market at that point. It's important that my entry is as close as possible to that entry or to that low, because then it's going to give me more flexibility once I'm in the trade. It's going to allow me to hold the trade for longer. It's going to allow me to have profit. Even if the market is consolidating, at least it's consolidating in profit and not in drawdown. Imagine you're ranging. The market's just going up and down slowly for 5 days and you're in drawdown. How is that going to feel if you're in that trade? It's going to be super emotional and you're going to want to just close out and exit out of that painful situation as fast as possible. But if you're in profit and you see your profit go up and down a little bit, sure, it'll still have some impact on you. It'll still have some emotional impact. But you're going to feel a whole lot better about saying, you know what? I'm going to hold this and I'm going to let it do its thing. And this is not going to affect me that much because at least my entry was at the right place. So because I entered in down here, I was able to hold this for 5 days. If I was entering up here, that entire time period would have been in drawdown, right? Let's say the entry was up there. And let's just assume that I had a stop loss big enough to not get stopped out. Because realistically, we could have been stopped out there. Realistically, if you would have entered in up there, you would have gotten stopped out. I know where you would have put your stop loss because I've done it. I know where most people would have put their stop loss. It would have been right here. It would have been at 182, 200. You would have gotten stopped out. You would have had a little bit of a higher take profit to adjust for your risk to reward. This would have been a losing trade for you because of your entry. That's the point that I'm trying to make. If you get the right entry and you don't enter in at a too late of a point, then you're going to be in a much better position to win. All right, so I hope that video made sense to you guys, and I hope you actually were able to find value in it so you can take a concept from here and go apply it and go see tangible improvements in your trading. So I am doing one-on-one coaching. If you're someone who has some capital to trade with and you're serious about actually scaling up your trading, check the link in the description below, or there should be more information below about how to get into Synergy Trading. It's application based, so it's invite only. And I'm only looking for a couple of serious traders who are looking to level up their trading. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.